Alright, so quick update. Complete disaster with this car, with this whole project. Had the wheels fitted up, still waiting on tires, still waiting on some suspension parts. And figured I'd go ahead and start trying to roll these fenders, pull them a bit. And the inevitable happened. I did every precaution, heating it up, everything like that. And the fenders, the rear quarters, caved in. I got it all kind of taped off, the paint chipped here where it already was, and I tried doing some pulling with some glue pulling, just popped more of this Bondo. This car has been through some stuff in its history, and there's just a little bit of Bondo everywhere. Just real thin skim coats when they were putting new panels on. This car was stolen right when it was brand new off the lot, and it's had a few incidents ever since according to the Carfax. But yeah, not great. Rolled the fenders, pulled them out, got lots of clearance. They're hella flush now, which is cool. But yeah, as far as the body line goes, you can see there, that's got to get filled. Same thing on the other side. I already started filling that. Been working on it for days trying to rescue this. And the front fenders, I was able to pull them out a bunch as well and get a nice flare on them, but they were too wavy for my liking, so I'm again sanding that all down, bondoing it, just skim coating it kind of thing, and then smoothing out any of the waves in it and the wrinkles. This side I've already done over here, so it's looking really good now. Repainted, re-cleared kind of the whole thing. Just needs a good cut polish now. Yeah, she's looking all right. The back end on this side, I've got it filled and primered. Everything's dusty at the moment, but it's not perfect, but it's not bad. You still have like kind of a flare at the bottom, so it's kind of hard to work that out. You know, a couple small little waves in it, and this body line doesn't quite look right here. Not perfect, but the car is going to be wrapped. You'll still see some of the body line imperfections, but none of the paint and the scratches and stuff. But it's just really dusty right now from sanding everything. Plus there was some damage to the door down here, so I'm sanded that, bonded it, and I gotta sand that some more, wet sand it, paint it, touch everything up. And when I peeled there was a old carbon fiber wrap on here. Again, it's really dusty now, but the carbon fiber wrap on here peeled off a bunch of paint. So I sanded it, filled any of the chips of Bondo and chips of paint missing, and then gave it a repaint and a polish. Some clear on there. But again, it's just very dusty and dirty. Not looking too bad though. Just dusty. Not the perfect match, but again, we're gonna be wrapping it, so it's really disappointing because the whole reason I'm doing this build is because this car was such a perfect condition, and obviously that's because it's had lots of body work in its life. It looked very nice. It was a very clean build, so I'm trying to make this whole build as clean as possible, but it's just not going my way. But hopefully when we're done, all these body lines will be perfect and all the repairs will be done. We'll get the body kit put on, and then we'll get these wheels and tires finally, and we'll fit that up. And might have to remove the front sway bar because it's getting in the way of seeing how much angle we can truly get with this kit until we get a high clearance sway bar for the front. So all that work I put in, putting new bushings in and painting it, that's a waste. So it's like every time I turn around, it's 10 steps forward, 2 steps back. But stay tuned. I'm gonna get this body work done, and then I'll show you the result. And by then I should have the wheels, and we can start bashing out the inside of the fenders and trimming things to make that work, and see exactly how much clearance we need, set the ride height, figure out how much angle, and see what our turn-in's gonna look like then, and see how much angle we can get. But again, I was waiting for parts from Too Fast Auto Parts in Canada, and they're absolutely terrible. Ordered a high angle front tension rod and rear upper control arms and the 4 tires. I've now, after leaving a 1-star review, got them to send out the tires that they've been sitting on, but they seem to have now lost the other parts that I ordered, so I can't finish the suspension until those get here, or I'll have to put the stock stuff back on. But then again, the front tension rod's going to get in the way of the turn and the angle, seeing how much the angle kit actually gives us, just like the tie rod, or the sway bar rather, is. So again, 10 steps forward, 2 steps back, more like 2 steps forward, 10 steps back, and yeah, we're just having a hard time. But the interior parts are on their way. They should be here early next week, so that'll be another episode. Once I get this bodywork and the outside completely done, that'll be done in this episode, other than the body kit, but we'll get the wheel fitment, the angle, all that done, and then next episode will be body kit probably, or maybe I'll do that at the one after. We'll do interior, then we'll do bodywork and wrap reveal. What color do you think it's gonna be? Hit me up, let me know. But better get started on this last quarter while the other Bondo is drying on the front and everything else, and then we'll do wheel reveal once the tires get here and once all the body work's done. So stick around. Well, starting to look all right. Got a couple of runs in this one. I got a wet sand out, but it's looking pretty flat, not wavy. Back here, again, not too bad. Got a light coat of paint on it so far, primed, and then one light coat. 2 more to go. And a couple little waves, but can't tell if that's just the drying of the paint, or we're really gonna see that too much when it's done. But all in all, finally getting somewhere. Don't mind all the dust. Doing my best not to get it in the paint, but I can't wash it because it's minus 20 outside. So we'll get it, we'll polish it out, blend it in, be ready for the wrap. So finally got the rear upper control arms and the front tension rods for the 240. Ooh, sneak peek there. So we can finally get the suspension all dialed in, underside of the car is done. A bunch of other stuff has been done in the meanwhile because I've been waiting for parts, so my videos are gonna kind of jump around, and I've been able to just keep moving forward with getting stuff done. But we'll get these parts on, and then we'll do the wheel reveal, and then we can get a final answer on the angle that the angle kit gave us from factory to what we got with the angle kit. And then we're gonna remove the front sway bar, because that's the next thing that's gonna be in our way, and we'll see how much angle we can truly get from this car. So here's what we got for parts. For our rear upper control arms are the ISR Performance single-sided rear upper control arms, and then for the front we got Megan Racing tension rods. That should give us some good adjustment. So to get these wheels back off and get these installed and adjusted, and we'll go from there. And just like that, she's installed. Pretty straightforward. Looks good. And I just kind of did an arbitrary setting that I'll remember to do on the other side, but we're gonna have to obviously go for an alignment because so much has changed. But hopefully that gives me actually a little less camber than I had before. And then the wheels can poke out, very nice. The same thing on this side, twisted out the same amount, it's 4 1/4 turns. It's roughly the same as the stock control arms. Put a little bit of anti-seize in here. These, be careful, they pop out. And then it goes to the front side. So we'll wrap that around the front, hook that on there, bolt in the backside with the factory bolt that comes with it, which is this big dorky thing here, and tighten it all up. Good to go. And another successful install, easy peasy, simple as that. Just gotta tighten up the adjustments back there. But again, I'm gonna be going in for an alignment, so not overly important to have them fully torqued up at the moment. Get the wheel back on, we'll move to the front tension rods. Now, the front wheel's off. This is your tension rod here. It pulls the caster forward and backwards, and you want as much caster as you can get, so I'm told, and that'll get it away from the wiring harness that we had to tuck up in the wheel well to get the tires to clear. So you just unbolt the 17 from both sides here, you pull that out, and there's two 17 millimeter nuts like on the bottom there. Once you have those undone, it just pops out. Quite crusty in there. And there she is. And then install the new ones, just reverse order. Pillow ball side goes to the outside. This will land in there just like that. And these are high angle tension rods, so we're not hitting the tire on these, which will give us a little more angle. But the next thing that's gonna be in the way is the sway bar. So we're gonna have to remove that to get max angle or get a high angle version of that as well. So let's get these installed and I'll show you when it's done. There we go, she's all installed. It does come with new hardware for this side, 17 mil on top, 19 mil nuts and washer for the bottom. Pillow ball to the outside, and then you got these for your adjustments, and then you gotta lock those down into place. So I made it as short as possible to pull this caster as far forward as possible. All right, that's all done. We are ready for the big wheel reveal and to see how much angle we get without removing the sway bar, and then we'll take that off and check again. Ready for this? Whoa. The wheels we got here are Avid 1 AV06s, obviously like a TE37 style of wheel. You got the purple brakes behind it, purple lug nuts, purple valve stem cap. Everything's matching. Might even do a little piece of vinyl on there, make it look real drift car like. Got the bumpers off right now because in a different video we're working on the body kit stuff. Got these fenders rolled and pulled quite nicely now and repainted. Everything's a little dirty at the moment. Pulled the rears as well, caused that cave in that we showed earlier. And now we got some camber adjustments, so our fitment is hella flush. Front is super stanced wide as well. Got to do obviously a wheel alignment and everything, but I'm loving how this is turning out. So now we got to get this wheel straight. So obviously turn to the left a little bit, straighten it out, mark it, and then we're going to turn it left and right and see how much angle we've gained. The previous mark, obviously worn off a little bit now, it was roughly around 35 degrees of steering angle. Let's see what we have now with the sway bars still connected. So the new angle is pretty ridiculous, and that's without even removing the sway bars, which is the next hindrance. Pretty good. And we still got lots more to go, but some part of the problems is we're starting to rub in a few areas. So it's all about figuring out where we're rubbing and create a little bit more clearance. So let's see what this angle equates to. I'll pull out my protractor here and see what we get. According to my math on those lines, it only is 45 degrees of angle, which it sure seems like a hell of a lot more than that, especially if we were starting at 35. But 10 degrees more is considerable. So now if we pull that sway bar, see what we get after that. Forgot to mention that we are rocking Zestino 225 40 ZR18 tires. These are a drift specific tire, or what's been known to be good for drifting. So this is what I figured we'd rock. Rocking a square setup, and the wheels are 18 by 9.5 with a 18 degree offset, and it just gives us enough clearance with the Megan coils, so should work well. Time to pull that sway bar, and if we wanted to go one further, we could remove the bump stop, but I don't think I want to go that far. We should get, you know, another 10 degrees or so, I believe, with just removing the sway bar. Now, with the sway bar successfully disconnected, we're getting about 50 to 55 degrees of angle now. Still not the best. We're now hitting lock or bump stop in the back here. We're hitting right there. So if we lop that off, we would get a bunch more. However, we are also hitting frame, the tire on the other side, right there. So we could get, again, a little bit more if we
trim that back a bit, get rid of that pinch weld kind of thing. Cut it off, spread it, bang it backwards. And it might also actually change when I set the car down. I have it raised in the air right now, so it might actually get better as the wheel goes up. We'll get to a narrower section of tire potentially, but I don't know, I'll try that right now. So now that it's on the ground, definitely tell I'm gonna need to do some camber adjustments because it's definitely leaning out. I want to flatten that out. And still, I don't think that's enough angle for my liking. We might have to remove those bump stops, but I think I might wait till we can actually drive this thing and beat it up and see really if that's gonna drift nicely or not, or if we can push it a little more and get some more angle. But now that the tire is sat down, we are a good amount away from the frame rail there. So we could get a bunch more wider tire, or sorry, more offset wide body, then you can really get it angled right out, get the tire further away from everything. But at this point on a stock body, this will have to do. We'll see how she does.